And President Trump is deploying American energy as a geopolitical weapon, warning Iran of traumatic consequences if it refuses a nuclear deal, while rolling back Obama-era greenhouse gas regulations here at home. Meantime, in Venezuela, Energy Secretary Chris Wright working to revive oil production in a bid to curb the influence of China, Russia, and Iran in the region. We go live now to NTD's Washington correspondent, Mari Otsu, who's standing by at the White House. Mari, good evening.
Steve, good evening. That's right. President Trump's fresh warning for Iran comes as the Pentagon is preparing to deploy its second carrier strike group to the Gulf. That's as the USS Lincoln is already there standing by in the Middle East. And meanwhile, President Trump today was asked about a timeline for Iran negotiations, and he says that a deal could take place over the next month. Take a look.
We have to make a deal, otherwise it's going to be very traumatic. Very traumatic. I don't want that to happen, but we have to make a deal. They should have made a deal the first time, and they got Midnight Hammer instead. And this will be very traumatic for Iran.
This comes a day after President Trump met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to talk Iran negotiations, with Israel joining the president's Board of Peace. President Trump says he insisted to Netanyahu that Iran negotiations must continue. Netanyahu, though, says he's skeptical about any deal with Iran and is lobbying the Trump administration to press the Iranian regime to scale back its ballistic missile program and end its support for terrorist groups like Hamas and Hezbollah.
The president believes that the Iranians have already learned who they are dealing with. He believes that the conditions he is creating, combined with the fact that they surely understand that they made a mistake last time by not reaching an agreement, may create the conditions for achieving a good deal.
Meanwhile, President Trump's laser focused on energy this week. He's repealing the 2009 legal finding that claimed carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases endanger public health, touting it as the largest deregulatory action in American history.
We are officially terminating the so-called endangerment finding. This action will save American consumers trillions of dollars and will lower the average cost of a new vehicle by close to $3,000.
And as he directs the Pentagon to power military operations with domestic coal, President Trump says communist Cuba is in, quote, big trouble. That's as Mexico sends humanitarian aid to Cuba, which is crippled by severe oil shortages. The Trump administration last month ousted Maduro, cut off Venezuela's subsidized oil lifeline to Cuba, and threatened tariffs on any nation supplying oil to the island. President Trump now celebrates the relationship between Venezuela and the U.S. as Energy Secretary Chris Wright negotiates oil revival deals there, touting how the administration is strategically using its energy policy to dismantle anti-Western regimes.
One of the problems in Venezuela, as you point out, is the huge presence of China, of Russia, of Iran. Hezbollah and Hamas North American headquarters are here in Venezuela. We want it to be open to less corrupt, honest American, Western American allies for business. We need to get our adversaries, particularly their nefarious activities, out of our hemisphere. The influence of China and Russia and Iran that has been very large in Venezuela will become very small.
With some of the world's largest oil reserves, Venezuela supplied heavily discounted crude to the Chinese regime, which helped Beijing meet its energy needs while allowing Caracas to bypass U.S. sanctions. And today, Energy Secretary Chris Wright vows that that era is coming to an end. Instead, he's pushing for transparent market rate deals that will benefit the Venezuelan people and the Western Hemisphere. Steve, back to you.
Mari Otsu live at the White House. Thank you, Mari.